you sure you don't need a car? No, this is the Italian dream.
Yes, but the road can be really tricky.
Yeah. And Sicilian drivers. Is this the normal size of a Vespa? Yes, Vespa, normal size, yes.
All right. That was the sound of the Italian Dream Vespa ride from White Lotus episode 2, bringing us into tonight's Torque Stories podcast. We're recording Sunday night, November 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern. Today's agenda includes notes from the week, drafting NBA franchises we'd like to own, and talking White Lotus episode 2. And Colts win!
Yes, I actually found out after the fact. I wasn't even really paying attention, but exciting. I did watch a little recap on the NBC NFL show with the old coach Dungy giving his comments, so I'm up on it. But yeah, a victory with Jeff Saturday, coach extraordinaire, Coach Brilliant, man.
So your first reaction to Jeff Saturday was what?
You got to be kidding me. That was my first reaction. I mean, isn't he just a television commentator, if even that? And like he's never coached anything, maybe a high school of his son or something. It seems out of the, it seems out of left field. It almost seemed like a throwaway to me. But I did hear Dungy's comments today, and he's like, well, Irsay knows him. He just kind of threw him in there as a shock inspiration. And I guess I can see that. And maybe it's such a short-term solution. I mean, I have nothing against Jeff Saturday, but it just seems the only thing I really remember about Jeff Saturday is him and Peyton having that big argument on the sideline.
Right. That's what I was going to say. So our mom, I think mom was a little offended by your reaction to Jeff.
I know. She was like, Jeff is wonderful, basically. Yeah.
I have had no interest at all in the Colts, other than through my parents. And for the very first time, because of Jeff Saturday, I was a little bit interested. So I made assumptions like the center knows a lot about football, and the center who has a very tight relationship with Peyton Manning through some Super Bowl runs learned a lot. And I thought that the argument that many of us have seen now between Saturday and Manning, that made me think he could do it, just to have that kind of relationship with Peyton. So I was a little bit interested. It created a little bit of good momentum for me. I did watch some football today, but I didn't watch the Colts.
Yeah, I can't watch the Colts here in LA unless I subscribe to whatever package, which I don't. So I watched the end of a Minnesota game, but then when it went into overtime, it went to the next game, so I couldn't even see the overtime. So I don't understand NFL TV very well.
Yeah,
I'm not appreciative of it.
All right, before we get started, we've got to read the Megan Torgerson Real Estate copy. Whether you're looking to sell your home and begin an exciting journey in the mountains of Western North Carolina, or if you're looking for a vacation home in the high country from Boone to Banner Elk all the way to Asheville, Megan Torgerson Real Estate would love to be part of your new adventure. To find out more and see some of the latest listings, click on Megan Torgerson Real Estate icon at thetorg.com. All right, Ann, notes from the week. You don't have any notes from the week?
I don't have any notes from the week. I just did my usual. I went to work. I came home. I worked out. I went on my hikes this weekend and running. It was a lot cooler. It was pretty rainy this week, which was very odd for Los Angeles. It's been cooler, meaning in the day it's been like 60s, at night it's 50. So, it's like November's here. And today, crazy, crazy windy. That's my LA update.
So we had Hurricane Nicole, what was left of Hurricane Nicole, come in on Thursday. So we're in the middle of the state football playoffs. Watauga High School, where I coach girls basketball, was in the playoffs. So a lot of teams moved up to Thursday. We did not move up to Thursday when it started raining and blowing. And then the game got pushed back on Friday, where I would say, so I live close to Valley Cruces, North Carolina. You've been to the park. We've got an elementary school there. The whole back of the elementary school property was underwater. The bridge that goes over there was underwater. Tons of debris and logs and big branches on the bridges. So a little bit of leaking in the living room. So that finished up on Saturday. That finished up on Saturday. And then we went out to Linville Falls because we thought the waterfall would be crazy. It was pretty crazy. I'm trying to entice some people to the website, thetour.com. I've got some video footage of the falls. We went to the old, no, is that what it's called? Dang it. I forget what it's called. The Old Hampton store? The inn? I got it right here. What is it? The Old Hampton store in Linville, North Carolina. I think it was bluegrass music we heard. I videoed that a little bit. I've got the plate of barbecue that I ordered, so you can't miss those things.
Some North Carolina activities right there. The
So
thing that stuck with me from that story is debris the plural of debris, or is it just a debris?
Oh no! Did I say a weird?
You said debris, yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean it like yeah. No, I think
It's
look
just
at all
debris,
that,
right?
look at all that debris.
Right. It can't be plural.
I don't even know if you can have singular debris. Martin Torgerson, our father, he's the one who knows all of that stuff. Also, Ann, last night, first snow of the year.
Oh, crazy. The ski resorts have opened in Northern California. I can't believe it. Crazy.
So
like a couple days early.
A little bit of a light dusting. Let's go back to a couple predictions from last week. You and I said that Frank Reich wouldn't make it through the season. He did not make it through the next 48 hours.
I know. Quickly got fired. I was surprised.
Predicting geniuses.
Aren't you the one who told me that you felt like benching Matt Ryan came from above the ownership? Yeah. I have my doubts now.
Well, maybe Jeff Saturday said
that's dumb.
I'll be your coach, but we're going to start Matt Ryan.
We're going to put him back in. I thought actually I was surprised when they pulled Matt Ryan because I know he's done some things maybe aren't great, but to me he doesn't have protection and he's a lot better than the alternative. So to me when they pulled Matt Ryan, that was like saying forget this whole season. So now I'm glad he's back in. And
then if we glance at the standings, can I find the standings quickly? The Colts are how many games out, Ann? Here we go.
I have no idea. They're probably in last in their division. Texas is probably bad too.
The Titans lead the division at 6-3. The Colts are 2 games back at 4-5. The Jaguars are 3-7, and the Texans are 1-7. So the Colts 2 games.
Oh, it's amazing. Amazing. They got beat twice by Tennessee though. And haven't they gotten beat twice by Jacksonville? I mean, 2 of those wins, aren't they from
right?
2 of Jacksonville's wins? Yeah.
Probably nobody wants to go through all
we
the
don't want to
Colts.
talk about the Colts anymore.
All right. So we're gonna go we're gonna draft. We have an NBA cities.
Wait, we had another prediction. Which I won, and it's like you're glossing over it.
Good. I hope you know because I don't know who won the last game.
Well, I do. I win because the Nets went 2-1, and the Clippers went 1-2. So I win because I said one of them was going to go 2-1.
Last night, so it was Clippers Nets last night. Is that right?
Yes, and the Nets won.
The Nets beat the Clippers?
Yes, I'm almost positive.
And
I'm
you said
100% positive.
So the Clippers went 2-1, even though they lost to the Nets.
No, I think the Clippers only won once.
You
said look it up.
You said that you said the Nets would go 2-1.
I said the Nets would
there
go 2-1.
You go. Okay.
I didn't really say anything about the Clippers.
So I had
you said both would go 1-2.
I did. I know I'm wrong. Both teams I thought pretty good weeks, right? I don't know. The Nets
are kind of scrapping back. They got Curry back, right? So that's a big deal, kind of.
So I'll give you definitely got the win there. All right, I got to find my list of NBA cities. I want to do one thing first. There's so much, Ann, to.
Well, I'm a little confused on the franchise draft. I'll tell you that.
I want to
First of all, I have no idea.
Oh, I got it now. I got it. Okay, I want to do this. I'll stop this if it's too boring, but I think the listeners can play along. The first question is, have you been to this NBA city? Here we go.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go fast. Atlanta.
Yes.
I don't
briefly, just like in the airport.
I don't like Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta a lot. I'm sorry, Atlanta.
Oh, I haven't been a lot. Yeah.
Maybe I can still have some good experiences. My feelings are just, I don't know, people being mean to me, traffic, bad, traffic and the driving, maybe too rowdy for me. Boston,
I've never been to Boston.
yeah, so you should go. Highly recommend Boston. Crazy that you've never been to Boston. I
I
know
thought about it, but
we've both been to Brooklyn,
Brooklyn, yes. I
Charlotte a
enjoy
lot.
it.
I got married in Charlotte. I lived in Charlotte for 4 years.
Charlotte, I've been there.
Chicago.
Been there many times.
We grew
You
up
probably have been there more.
in the 2 hour. We were about 2 hours away from Chicago, a little over.
No, it's like 2.5, 3.
Cleveland.
I have been to Cleveland. I think I drove to Cleveland once. Took some pictures, got back in my car, drove all the way back to Indiana.
I think I left a hurricane in New York once, and we spent the weekend in Cleveland. We stayed in a hotel downtown. Yeah,
I'm neutral about Cleveland. I have no bad feelings about it. It seems like an Indianapolis-esque city. Generic.
Dallas.
I've been to Dallas.
We're gonna make
times.
so many. Yeah, so now you've labeled Indianapolis and Cleveland as generic. They're gonna love you.
I have a good friend who lives in Dallas. I've been there several times. It's fine. I don't love it. He loves it, but I don't love it.
You and I have once Torque Stories podcasted from Dallas.
Oh, that's right. You picked me up in Dallas once.
We went to the, I don't know what we went to. We went
to the Louisiana Film Festival, and you picked me up in Dallas for some reason. That must be the closest place you could fly in.
And it was like Shreveport.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was horrible how far away the rental car place was from the airport and the hotel. Do you remember that?
Nobody likes DFW. Yeah.
This is going to take forever. Denver.
I love Denver just because it's close to ski areas.
My memory of Denver is I met you in Denver. I rented a car. You said I was an idiot for getting the insurance.
I said, why would you buy insurance? That's so stupid.
I went right out and backed into a concrete pole in the parking garage.
Promptly made a big dent in the car, and it was like, who cares? It's fine.
There we go. See, I wasn't going to do this, but I started working my way through these cities, and I started thinking of things like that. Detroit?
I've never been to Detroit. Maybe driven through it.
Have you ever heard of Mike Noska?
Yes, I know Mike Noska. Well, I don't know him, but
I was on my way to Canada. Mike Noska was in the car. It was horrible traffic. He and some other people in the car. Oh, I was with the Tankersleys. Maybe all three. Pat, Michael, and Kevin. Mike Noska jumped out of the car on the freeway and ran into Detroit, where I thought, how is he going to find us? I think this is pre-cell phone. And then traffic started picking up, but Mike Noska sprinted ahead after going to the bathroom and found the car on the freeway. And I pulled over and he jumped back in. San Francisco?
Yes, I've been to San Francisco. I don't care for it. I don't like it.
I'm going to go, we're almost there. I'll just keep going. Houston.
Oh, I've been to Houston briefly, just briefly.
Never been to Houston. You and I are from Indiana. We've been to Indianapolis many times. The Clippers and the Lakers. You live in LA. I've been there. I've never been to Memphis.
I don't think I've been to Memphis properly. No,
And
I don't want to go to Memphis.
You don't want to?
No, I mean Elvis.
Your goal is to alienate all NBA fans
I think so.
who listen to the pod.
Elvis, the blues. I mean, I'm sure it's fine. I'm not into barbecue, so.
I've never been to Memphis either, and it's 8 hours away. Seems like I should have managed it. Miami?
I've actually never been to Miami. I lived in Orlando. I've never been to Miami. I've been to Fort Lauderdale. Miami's quite different, I suppose.
Miami, easy top 5 American city for me. Maybe top 3 or 4.
Oh.
Different podcasts. Milwaukee.
No, I've never been to Milwaukee.
I went to Milwaukee. I don't know why. I don't remember much about it. Minneapolis.
Yes, I like Minneapolis. I went there once.
Is that with you?
Why? I forget.
Didn't we go to the Mall of America as children?
Yes, but I went once on my own as an adult, not even that long ago, and I visited like things that Prince did and stuff like that.
So
it was interesting.
We had some pretty unusual family vacations growing up.
Well, ours were pretty cheap, on the road. You had to be on the road. You couldn't fly in a plane.
So
could Dad gamble there? That's a plus, things like that.
So one vacation, I can't even remember what else we did, but we stayed in Minneapolis and we went to the Mall of America.
Yeah, I think we went to like Baraboo, things like that.
And you weren't able to, you couldn't tour Prince's house yet. That would be something else you would do in Minneapolis, right?
Right. I didn't tour his house. I just like went to a club that he played at a lot, stuff like that. It was
And
nice.
you didn't see Prince.
I think he was dead. I think
Yeah.
he was dead.
New Orleans, New Orleans.
Love New Orleans.
You
Haven't been
once
there a lot. Only went once. Is that right? Only went once in college. Wonderful trip. Like was there like 24, 36 hours. Awesome trip.
and you kind of snuck down there and didn't tell our parents.
I did. I feel like I was depressed in college. My friends were like, well, let's do a trip. And I had my parents' car and I was like, all right, let's do it. So it was a weekend trip.
Later. I had an incredibly horrible bed and breakfast New Orleans experience where the shower was broken and the owner screamed at me for breaking the shower. I can't remember a couple other nasty things she said to me. She was having a high school reunion at the bed and breakfast. I was the only person who didn't go to their high school staying there. So I was treated terribly. However, the bill of $900 she never charged me for. I couldn't.
Oh, so you let it go. Yeah.
I ended up staying for free. Yep.
I would never stay in a bed and breakfast.
Why?
Just sharing someone's in your face all the time. I don't like that. I like the anonymity of a hotel room.
I knew what you would say. You and I are the same. We don't want to go down and make small talk with the guests.
Yeah, I don't want to have a group breakfast and stuff. No, thank you. I want to get the hell out of here and go in and sleep and things like
And
that.
people love that.
Yeah, I know. It's not our personality.
Although Martin, he wouldn't love it. Our dad.
No.
And I don't know I don't know. Mom would be better.
I don't think she would like it either.
So New York, we've been to many times. New York City. Oklahoma City, I've never been.
I don't think I've been either. No. Maybe. I don't know. We got a flat tire in Oklahoma, didn't we? Maybe not.
Me and you?
When I was like 11 or 12, we drove to California and we got a flat tire on the way back. You remember that?
No, I don't. The main thing I remember about the California trip is we left Mom at the gas station.
Right.
So
people love these reminiscent stories that we're telling.
I think you and I knew we were leaving Mom, right?
Yes, I knew we were leaving. We were laughing about it, I think.
We just thought we would see how long Dad would go.
Yeah, and then we'd be like, hey, Mom's back there.
Did we let him? I can't remember if we let him get on the highway or not.
It wasn't too far.
Not too far. Carol Sue, we came back. Orlando, you live there. I've been.
Lived there. Don't love it. Don't love it. Rained a lot. Tornadoes happening a lot. But yet I did have fun, so I'll give it that.
Philadelphia.
Never been to Philadelphia.
You've got some touring to do. This should motivate you.
Do I want to go to Philadelphia?
I think you do. Yes, you do. You want to go down there to that spot where
see the
it's
bell.
like 1775 for 3 or 4 blocks. That's worth doing.
See Rocky statue.
You don't eat cheesesteaks.
No.
No, but Boston and Philadelphia.
I get a Philly pretzel.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's like a figure 8. It's a little different.
I didn't know that. You're kind of a pretzel expert.
Well, there's a guy here in LA from Philly who sells Philly pretzels. Over COVID, he's like an actor, and he came up with, "Hey, I'm gonna make pretzels at home." And now he has a little pretzel van, and I do eat those sometimes.
From the van.
$10 a pop. They're very expensive.
We need to link to that in the show notes.
Chappie's pretzels.
Ooh, nice shout out, Ann. Phoenix.
I've been to Phoenix. I liked it. I've been there twice, maybe.
I don't like
it's
it.
Fine.
It makes me sick. It's so hot.
Yeah, I mean, I drove to Flagstaff and went to Grand Canyon. I mean, that's pretty stuff.
Oh, I did that. I like that. I just didn't like Phoenix.
The actual city of Phoenix, yeah.
Portland, I've never been.
No, I don't think I've been to Portland.
Sacramento, I've never been.
I've driven through. You don't want to go there.
San Antonio, I've never been. 3 left.
No.
Salt Lake City.
I like Salt Lake City again, very close to some beautiful ski areas.
Yeah, I feel like the whole town closed at 5 when I was there.
Yes, kind of hard to drink there. You like have to have a membership in a club or something.
And then Washington, D.C.
I've been to DC once. I enjoyed it. I like it. All that history stuff.
I think I'm a
Enjoyed it.
fan. I'm a fan. We took a trip recently and I liked it. Okay. So let's just go. You think 5 is enough? Draft 5?
Yeah. And
Oh, I
okay,
gotta
my
set it up.
question.
I'm sorry. I need to set it up.
Okay.
You wanted me to set it up. I think you didn't understand
Yeah,
it. So
because I don't understand.
couple things. Your life is your life. So you are, I think, somewhat without tight strings in LA. I don't know. I have 2 kids in high school. My wife is a realtor here in the Boone area. If I left around here, you know, people are changing schools, etc. So your life is your life. We're gonna. All I'm saying about the salary cap is you're not gonna have any trouble paying the salaries. So don't worry about what the salaries are. And then we're gonna give ourselves $10 million to get started in our new lives as we pick. So we just want to hear. All I'm asking you to do is pick the franchise you would choose to own first. A few reasons why. We'll do 5 rounds and then we'll be done.
Okay, to me it breaks down to 2 things, right? Number one, I would want to own the most valuable franchise,
I think
the
so.
richest franchise.
Right.
And number 2, would I want to live there? And do I have to live there? Do all
You have to
owners
live
live
there or
there?
commute. You have to live there or commute.
Yeah.
How often do you have to be there?
Well,
I think
luckily, they're kind of one and the same, right? The places I would want to live happen to be the most valuable franchises as well.
not based on at least one thing I heard, but go ahead.
Okay, am I picking first?
Yeah, I'm giving you first pick.
All right, I'm going to pick the Clippers. And I'm going to pick the Clippers
Number
over the
one.
over the Lakers for reasons. Number one, I'm in Los Angeles. I don't have to move. I love it here. I want to stay here. Number 2, I don't have the pressures of being a Laker. Everybody loves the Lakers. Nobody talks about the Clippers. I've never met anybody who cares about the Clippers. I'm sure they exist.
You are choosing to own a franchise that no one cares about, I guess, to avoid pressure.
Because I would save it. I would be the savior of the Clippers, right? Yeah. I would be so brilliant at owning it that it would overtake the Lakers. People would love the Clippers more.
Right.
And it would be an opportunity. And if I failed, people would shrug.
No one thinks the Clippers will ever overtake the Lakers, no matter what.
Right. Because of history. I get it. But I would just be like a new wave. And the Clippers, from my calculations, are the 6th most valuable in money. So I'm still up there.
Yeah. I wonder if that's something we could pull up.
Well, I Googled it and it had some different lists, but for my list that I chose to believe it was number 6.
Okay. I'm going to go. My number 1 is Golden State. Same 2 reasons. I love San Francisco. Yes, I would go like San Francisco, LA, New York City, Miami. Those to me are my 4 favorite big cities in the country.
Yes, me too.
Even though you haven't been to
Even though I've never been to Miami, I wrote it down as number 3.
So you should just go there. Yeah, you should go there over Christmas for 3 days or something.
Right.
Yeah, I think you would. Okay, so and then value wise, I think I can't. I mean, the last I heard, they make over $1 million per home game. So just the setup.
Right. They're number 2 on the list, basically. It says
tons of young talent, great arena, super profitable. So I would go Golden State 1. All right, you're up.
Well, 2, I'll go Nets. I don't want the Knicks. I don't want the Knicks, even though they're the most valuable team. Once again, I guess I'm going to pick the number 2 team in the market.
Yep.
Because I don't like the name Knicks. I don't like their colors. The Nets have good look about them. Again, I could build this legacy out in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's a hip, cool city. That's where I belong, so that's where I would go.
That's right. So, I mean, I'm choosing different team. You and I have almost a totally different set of criteria. But here's what I would like about the Nets over the Knicks. Here's what would be good about the Nets. I think you could live in like a 1 to 2 block radius of where the Nets practice, where the Nets play, and where you live, I think that can all be together. Whereas last I knew, the Knicks like practiced in Westchester County. How are you going to get from there to the stadium? So it was. I think playing for the Knicks is difficult, navigating traffic one way or the other. So that appeals to me, the all in one place. You're kind of throwing me with do I stick to my list? I think I'm safe on a lot of these. But now that I've heard it, I'm going to go. So I'm not really ranking these in my priorities. I'm ranking them in getting the best franchise, given that I'm drafting against you, who's got weird criteria. So I think I can still get things. So I'm going to go to Miami, mostly just based on one of my favorite cities, just the diversity, feeling when I'm on the beach that everybody from all over the world is here. I like that, other than like all the same kind of people around. Meaning, like, we grew up in 98 to 100% white Christian North Central Indiana. It's more fun to have different
For
walks of
sure.
life. Okay, so I'm going to go Miami just for fun factor of the city, able to get people to go there. What's your 3?
Well, I had Miami down.
That's why I picked it second.
And I already picked a New York team, an LA team. In truth, I would pick those probably again. Like I would pick the Lakers. I would
You're regretting your
buckle
decision.
under.
You're regretting your
And
decision.
I'd say, oh, I'll get them. And I would do the same for the Knicks. But just to be different and to be way left field, I'll pick Denver.
Oh,
Simply because
yeah.
Colorado is a beautiful place. I would enjoy living certain aspects. I would enjoy living in Colorado. Certain aspects I wouldn't, but just the beautifulness, the mountains. I mean, Denver is not mountainous, but I could drive 2 hours and be in the mountains. So I'm going to go Denver.
It's one of your favorite things to go to snow and ski when you have a few days, right?
Right. I don't actually do it that much, but I do enjoy it. And I would love to be in that environment as a rich person, especially. I would be a rich person now, owning an NBA team.
That's right. I'm gonna go 3 LA Lakers. I think it looks fun to live in LA. You live in LA. It looks fun. One of the iconic franchises. Even though I grew up rooting against the Lakers, it would be fun to own the Lakers. What's your 4?
Well, I picked Boston, even though I've never been to Boston. It's a large city. One of my criteria, I would perhaps live there if forced to, and if I was rich. And the Celtics, great historical franchise, right?
You don't like the cold.
The Colts.
Cold. COLD, cold.
Oh yes, I don't
Struggle
love
with
the cold,
cold.
but I'm already going to Denver. I mean,
Right?
as a rich person, I could handle the cold even better, I think.
Seems like you're climate wise, you might like Phoenix better.
I have Phoenix as my second tier team.
Okay. So my 4 is gonna be the Knicks, the New York.
I mean, you were actual fan of the Knicks for a brief period of time, weren't you? With your tall man.
My tall man.
Chris, I can't think of his name now. He
Chris
plays for the
Mullin?
Washington. He plays
I
for
like
Washington now. The Bullets.
a
He's from
tall
like Yugoslavia or Serbia
Oh,
or something.
Porzingis. So
Porzingis.
I did have an NBA Jam T-shirt with Luca and Porzingis on it. I enjoyed going to the Garden when I taught at St. John's in New York City for 11 years and lived in various spots. So I really enjoyed going to the Garden. And so and then I've always said that, like, if I made multiple million per year, I would love to live on the Lower West Side and have a gym
Right.
membership to Chelsea Piers and a private parking space. Now I really like New York City, but on professor salary in Queens, in 800 to 1,200 square feet for $2,300 a month, 10 years ago. That was a stretch, but I think it would be fun making that much money. All right, you're 5.
This is the last one.
Last pick.
I'm going to pick one of my second tier cities then, and I'm going to pick New Orleans, even though I have many reservations about that. Just
Yeah.
because, is New Orleans going to flood? You know, can they even support the team? I don't even know. But I think it'd be fun to live in New Orleans for brief periods of time. I
And
could
then
only just live there during the NBA season, perhaps.
they possibly have a very good young team.
Yeah, I would have the big guy. I would have what are
big
the other people?
Zion
Ingram.
Williamson, Brandon
Yeah, I'd have
Ingram.
Zion,
Um,
and I would have a chance of being a champion. And that's my second tier cities. I mean,
So-
there's just people who I would never pick in the world, and you know, obviously I would take any franchise. But if I was a rich person, would I be looking to buy Oklahoma? No. Would I be looking to buy Memphis? No.
So my number 5 you'll laugh at, which actually would be my number 1 and the one I would take, is the Charlotte Hornets. And that's because my kids don't want to leave the school that they're in. My wife doesn't want to stop selling real estate in the area, so I think I would have an apartment in Charlotte, and my kids would come down and see me, and that would be what I would have to do. So that was my number 5. Who did you not pick that was kind of on your short list of maybe picking?
Well, it would just be the opposite, Lakers, Knicks. I did have Phoenix as a second tier because I thought I could live in Phoenix. I actually enjoyed the Sun. I've watched the Suns quite a bit this year, and I'm kind of enjoying them.
Would Indianapolis be last for you?
No, it wouldn't be last because there would be familiarity there. I have actually lived in Indianapolis. I don't think you have lived in Indianapolis. I have lived there, and I enjoyed it. I don't have any bad things to say about it.
I lived in Greenwood for 1 year. That doesn't count.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Everybody just forgets that.
Yeah. Well, you lived in Greenwood. I mean, what did you even pick Greenwood for?
Boy,
But nothing against Greenwood. Yeah.
Nothing against Greenwood. Why would you live there? Says Ian. All right.
I enjoyed my time in Indianapolis. I have nothing bad to say about them, and I would pick them over things like Oklahoma City. Yeah.
Right.
Indianapolis.
My list that I didn't mention: Milwaukee. Only for Giannis. How could you not maybe want Giannis? Loyal.
Chicago was on my list just because it's a huge city.
Yeah. I didn't list Chicago. I list Milwaukee, Washington, DC, and Indy were my other 3 that I didn't have.
Washington. Yeah. I don't think I'd want to live in Washington, but in truth, I would take any NBA team if someone would like to give one. Of course.
That makes the game less fun, if that's what you're saying.
Okay.
All right. So we watched Nuggets Celtics this week.
We did.
What do you got from that?
I didn't really love the game. It was kind of a non-enjoyable game, I thought. It really degenerated into a non-enjoyable game. But it was my first. I know all the expert NBAers will be like, "You've never really watched Jokic before?" And no, I really haven't. Yeah. This is my first year. Remember, this is my first year being an NBA fan. So I did enjoy watching him. He's such an unusual player. I watched such a funny TikTok about someone imitating Jokic. And he walked around kind of like a disjointed zombie. And then he threw these bullet passes behind his back and between his legs and everything. And that gave me a chuckle. So I did enjoy watching him, and I understand his abilities now. And he's pretty incredible. But they kind of fell apart at the end, and it wasn't a very great game. And Tatum was wonderful to see. Jaylen Brown, he's obviously very good.
I think Brown hit his first 9 shots. So I've got a list here of what's special about Jokic. Just as he would do things, I would jot it down. So he's got the hooks, right? The hooks in the post, a million fakes. He gets the rebound and brings it himself and throws alley-oops like a point guard for dunks. 2-time MVP. On the broadcast, they said he was the closest thing to Larry Bird they'd ever seen, which I think is probably pretty common thing. I mean, it's cliche to say it about him now. And then he has a really nice floater. He took the charge on Jason Tatum. So that was did I say he shoots the 3? I think I did. I maybe left that out. So that's a pretty nice list of what I think he does.
Yes, the passes are pretty crazy to me. He's very unselfish. I didn't really know many of the other guys on the Nuggets at all.
Right.
They just shot very poorly in the beginning and kind of got behind, and so really couldn't come back. The Celtics look pretty great, but I still don't think they're going to win the whole thing. Do you?
I guess I would go Bucks at this point, right? You would go,
That's who I would go with.
yeah, I would go Bucks first. I think I might go Bucks. Wasn't ready for that question, Ann. I think I would go. Would I go Bucks Celtics? Who else would you go besides the Celtics? Bucks
On the
Celtics.
East, I wouldn't go with anybody
No,
else.
just to win the
Oh,
finals.
well, who's the best team in the West? Do you think?
All right,
Hard to say at this point.
who? The Jazz have
Hard
the
to
best.
say at this point.
Yes, the Jazz have the best record, which is crazy.
Right, the Jazz, who everybody said was going to tank, right?
So I
But they're
wanted to
not at
read
all.
you, and you once said that we should have a segment where we explain bets, but I don't think I'm smart enough to explain bets. So Tatum is the third leading MVP candidate, 7-1. So we saw two of the best in that game, right?
For sure.
I'm going to give you an update. So while I'm talking about betting, my fantasy today, I'm barely hanging on. Let's call one as we start to talk about betting. I think we could talk about units, and we could say like $1 or $10 or $100 or 400 or $1,000 or $1 million. That's a unit. I bet 2 units. Right now, I'm winning 4 units, barely hanging on by 2 points as the day winds down. So, my fantasy strategy is to go heavy on one team. So I go Mahomes, 3 of either, and then 2 of Mahomes' receivers, or 3 of his receivers, because you can only pick 4 people from one team. Or I go Mahomes, 2 receivers, and a running back. So that's what I did today, and it looks like the Chiefs might carry me to doubling my money today in fantasy. Ann says great news.
I don't understand fantasy very much, and I don't do it. I hardly understand betting. Whenever I bet sports, I lose. So
one more Celtics Nuggets comment. Did you watch it? Well, I'm gonna expose
I watched
you.
it live.
Did you watch it till the end? Did you
Yes.
see the episode? So 5 minutes to go. I'll tell you what happened. You may have noticed what happens. The Celtics roll the ball in so it's not moving on the floor. Jason Tatum is standing next to the ball. 3 people are blocking. They've created a wall in front of the ball so the clock will run while the shot clock doesn't run. Gordon, maybe, I don't know what his first name is. I forget.
The big guy, right?
Yeah. So
comes and rams right into him.
Gordon barrels over Grant Williams and gets called for a flagrant. What did you think of the play? What would have you called? Are you okay with this strategy?
I don't like the strategy. I don't like the ball just sitting there. I think it's dumb. Why couldn't he just run around those guys? I don't get it. He can't just run really fast right by them. They can't throw their body in front of him to stop him. Why couldn't he just run around them?
I think
run around and try to get the ball, and he'll have to pick up the ball.
That's right. I think the challenge.
Instead, he wanted to show a message, I guess, by hitting him and say, "This is dumb."
Yeah. So you're helping me here. I think you're helping me see that I like the play by Gordon, because 2 things happened that made it hard on the official. Williams moved to the side slightly to get in Gordon's way. So you could call that's almost like an illegal screen blocking foul. But it was certainly Gordon's intent to put Williams on his butt. So I don't know. I guess the call, I like the play. I might have called a blocking foul just because I hate the strategy.
What was the call?
Well, the call would be like an illegal screen, right? So
no, what did they call though?
They called a flagrant foul
on
Gordon for dropping Williams.
I agree with the call, to be honest, because he threw his body onto him. He could have played. I get it. He's sending a message. This is dumb, perhaps, but you can counter it by just, I'm going to run by you really fast and make you pick up the freaking ball. Yeah, that's what I would have done.
I think it's okay when, I think when you're losing and someone is making kind of a play like that, it's okay to take a flagrant foul and knock somebody on their butt. So that's kind of the way I feel, I think.
Right, sure. He's like,
So
you guys are
I'm,
dumb.
I'm at Bill Torg on Twitter. I posted that play if you want to let us know what you think about that play. All right. That was a lot of NBA in. But
NBA's over.
it was also a lot of the history of the Torgersons, which everybody is fascinated.
I know, everybody's gonna love that.
All right. So moving to White Lotus, I wanted to say this first of all. I don't like, and I think you're up for this. I do not watch, even if they're good, I am not going to watch a show where there might be 5 seasons where every episode ends in a cliffhanger. 2 examples. I like Ozark. I liked Ozark, the start of Ozark. Once I had the formula that I don't know how many seasons they're going to be and every single episode's a cliffhanger, I'm not watching anymore. So I stopped watching. I started watching Designated Survivor. Do you know that show?
I've never watched it, but I know it.
Excellent start. Megan, my wife Megan, is continuing without me. Well, one thing I knew about Designated Survivor is it got canceled and it was unresolved, so even though I thoroughly enjoyed every episode, I was out. But I know that you're in for something like Game of Thrones, right?
I don't mind cliffhangers. Cliffhangers can be great fun. You know, you go, what? What is that? To me, some of the greatest shows, like Lost, full of cliffhangers.
Doesn't it seem like
The first episode of Alias made me go, what just happened? I can't believe it. And I loved that show until it declined into a mess. But I enjoyed it, even though it declined into a mess. Game of Thrones, one of the worst endings ever. Everybody hates that last episode. Still enjoyed the journey. It was wonderful. Who cares? I mean, okay, I cared a little bit, but I enjoyed it, and I wouldn't go back and not watch it. And I've watched the sequel series, House of Dragons, and it's pretty good. It's no Game of Thrones, but it's pretty good. So no, I don't mind cliffhangers. I enjoy cliffhangers.
It seems like a cheap trick to me. I feel like I'm being worked. So the opposite of that.
I mean, you're talking about Designated Survivor, not a critically acclaimed show. I mean, maybe you're just not watching the right shows with the right cliffhangers.
Right. I've tried Game of Thrones. I don't like Game of Thrones at all. I don't think I'm probably not a dragon. I don't even know what it is. We won't.
Game of Thrones is wonderful. I enjoyed it. I read all the books. Loved the books. Wish George Martin would write the final books. He has a couple to write. He's so old. He's never going to write them. So I am kind of upset about that. An author dies. He's not going to die, hopefully, but an author doesn't finish his work. You'll never get the final, right? So
right.
That's kind of.
So have you seen, I like The Undoing, which I don't remember how many episodes, but it was like 6 to 10 episodes.
I've never even heard of The Undoing.
Hugh Grant.
You watch the craziest shows.
Well, it's HBO. Hugh Grant and Nicole Kidman.
Oh, I have seen that with Nicole Kidman. That's what it's called, The Undoing.
Undoing.
That was fine. I didn't love
unsatisfying. So I knew that was over. I really liked it. I didn't like the ending. The Mayor of Easttown. You've seen that?
Is that the Kate Winslet movie?
Yes.
Show? I mean,
yeah.
Yes, I enjoyed that show. I liked it.
And that's a like tighter. I don't remember how many episodes. 4 or 5 episodes. We're done. That's what I'm in for.
It's probably 8 or 9, but yeah.
So I'm always on the fence about, am I going to keep?
You like a series. You like a short little mini series.
That's right. Absolutely.
There's a word for it. I'm not coming up with it right now, but
miniseries.
Well, a White Lotus originally, kind of, I believe, was supposed to be that, right? They've won an Emmy for that category that I'm not coming up with the name right now, but they won an Emmy for that. And people are kind of a little pissy about it because now they're doing a second season and now suddenly they're a drama series. You know, they probably shouldn't have won the first Emmy. But anyway.
So is there
I don't mind. I like continuing things. I like it to continue.
Right. So, good. Interesting. I don't. I don't know if I should bother with do we need a summary?
I don't think we need a summary. I mean, the summary to me is still kind of a setup episode. We're still setting it up. We delve a little bit deeper into each kind of section of the story, if you will.
Let's do this then. Who jumps out at you as a favorite character or a favorite storyline?
To me, the favorite storyline is definitely the 4 couples. They're the focus to me, or the 4 people in the 2 couples, if you will. The beautiful couple, the nerdy couple. They're the most interesting to me, and they're the ones that I'm wondering what is going to happen. What's the deal about?
I feel most interested in I like the assistant
Do
son
you and that boy?
relationship.
Oh,
That
that's
boy,
interesting.
how old is that boy?
He's probably 20. He's in Stanford, isn't he?
Yeah, but okay. In real life, how old is he? Is he
Oh, he's
25?
probably 25 or something. Yeah.
So I like that relationship. And then Tanya, she is hilarious.
Well, Tanya is the only character that's moved on from the first White Lotus, and Jennifer Coolidge is a brilliant actress. This is the kind of character she plays. She's always hilarious. Have you ever seen Dog Show, the dog movie about?
No.
Probably isn't what it's called, but
Best in
the
Show?
spoof movie Best in Show. Yeah, have you seen Best
No,
in Show?
I have not seen it.
Oh, you would love Best in Show, and she is
Really?
great in Best in Show.
All right,
Yes.
I'm writing it down. Best in
You
Show.
never watched Christopher Guest movies?
No. You're good.
Well, Best in Show.
You're better with
Yeah,
Hollywood
pop
names.
culture.
All right. So let's run through the couples real quick. You kind of did it. Tell me what's jumping out at you. I'll add anything.
Okay, a real superficial thing off the top.
Yeah.
This guy is supposed to be a nerd, like just turned millionaire. Yet he's like 100% ripped, muscular, beautiful man also. So that's a little bit like, okay,
Wait,
he's not a real nerd.
The uptight?
Yeah, the uptight guy.
Right. No, yeah, we don't. I mean, do we have to?
But that's Hollywood, I guess. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we'll do that couple first. You got their names or no? It doesn't matter.
Harper, isn't it Harper?
Oh, I think it might be.
And I don't remember his name.
I have it right in front of me. Anyway, so who we're calling the uptight couple, they're wealthy, they're on vacation with who you're calling the beautiful couple. I feel like the wife is trying to be nicer. She's like making some changes.
Right, she's making an effort, which was good to see, because you're like, a lot of times you're frustrated when you're watching a show and you're like, a normal person would make some kind of effort here, wouldn't they? And she actually does. So I was happy with that. He kind of rejected the effort, but
it's kind of a twist, isn't it? That she just seemed like a pain in episode 1, but now she seems to be reaching out and he rejects it. What's his deal? Is he too shy to say yes? Is it too awkward for him? He can't grab what he wants. What's keeping him from?
I think his character is probably just turning a little bit in the presence of this old college friend who he probably looked up to and maybe is belittled by. And so he kind of feels like a lesser man and he kind of wants to assert himself. That's how I would take it. Like it's a new, his wife is viewing him with this relationship with a former college friend. So it's changing him, and making him act a little bit differently.
What would you say about, now I've got everybody in front of me. So the Sullivans, Cameron Sullivan, Daphne Sullivan, the people you call the beautiful couple. I'll go and then you can riff on it a little. I mean, they had a little bit more of a touching moment. Like he was talking about her having an emergency C-section. They were telling that story, and it seemed like a moment where they actually cared about each other and they were in love. Did you take it that way? Did you see something else?
Yeah, it made it seem like, well, the relationship is real on certain levels. It's not this superficial kind of thing that you think of at first. Like he does really care for her. My big question with him is, are they actually rich? Or is it like a facade? Are they about to lose all their money or something? What's their deal? Why are they on this vacation with this couple?
So, right. Let's see. Harper Spiller.
Who is he screaming at on the phone?
Oh, right.
About a suitcase, I guess. Wasn't it about a suitcase? But yeah. So he's showing this anger.
Now, do we think that, I take that as a red herring to make me think he's the one who kills people, but it's not him.
Right, yeah.
Even though I did predict after episode 1 that it would be him.
Right.
But then like you go back, if you switch over to The Undoing, it was by the time it was over, it was such a mess on like the foreshadowing and the red herrings that it actually ended up, maybe the brilliance, that's a lot. Maybe the cool thing about it was it turned out to be the person that everything pointed to. Everything pointed to one person, and that's who it was. And that it was
right. It was the logical choice.
That was so surprising that it did surprise me, or it was so okay. So Harper, Harper Spiller, the nerdy, the uptight couple wife, her theory in episode 1 was that the beautiful couple was going to try to get him to invest in something. They had some angle where they were going to try to get their money.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that planted it in my head that they're maybe
Yeah,
actually not
but is
rich.
that true? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their angle is. They don't seem like a couple who'd want to hang out with this couple unless there's some kind of benefit for them.
And then we go to Tanya, the Vespa riding lady who you said was in Best of Show, right?
Yes, and in the original White Lotus, she met this man, Greg. I believe his name is Greg.
Oh, so she met that. Okay.
They were in the original White Lotus. You think they're just having a fling. She was mourning the death of her mother at this White Lotus hotel. She meets this guy, Greg, and they ended up, having a fling, but then they ended up getting married. And she, of course, is insanely rich. He is supposedly working for the Bureau of Land Management or something like that.
Why is he in this relationship?
Right. I think for the money. He's in the relationship for the
So
money.
he hopes to have this relationship for the money, and he has a girlfriend. It appeared he has a. Actually, we don't know. He told somebody he loved him on the phone. We are to take that he has another woman.
Right. It could be a daughter or something. Don't you think? Something like that.
Maybe he seemed like okay. So he seemed like a total jerk.
He seems like not to be able to stand her presence anymore. He doesn't really like her, right?
She's a lot.
He grates through it. He doesn't want to take her on a Vespa ride, but he does it because she's the one with all the cash. He has to do what she does, so he takes her on the damn Vespa ride.
So but to me, there was a moment where I was like, okay, he's mean to her about her eating for sure.
Right.
I thought maybe a turn when he's like, what would be your perfect day? And he makes the perfect day happen. And then he says he's leaving. And then we know he lied. It doesn't matter if he's talking to his daughter. He lied to her about what he was leaving to do.
Right.
So he stinks. Right?
I mean, she's a little insufferable too. She has her problems.
But you just tell her.
She treats her assistant
Nice.
pretty poorly.
That's right.
She's oblivious rich person. And I have some residual feelings from what she did in the first season, which you probably don't remember or don't know. But
Didn't finish season 1.
right.
Um,
So then you have the father, the son, the grandfather.
all those stories are interesting to me.
I mean, what is it about? I found it interesting that the grandfather's like, son, you're cheating on your wife wrong in the wrong way. All you need to do is, don't make it obvious. Do it so she doesn't show. Don't shove it in her face. And so that's interesting. And that's kind of an old school way of looking at it.
Okay, so that's Lucia. Lucia is the person who's sleeping with the dad. I guess she got paid for the first night. Now maybe she's just getting stuff. I don't know.
Well, I mean, why would he give her charge abilities on that card? I don't know.
She's growing on me, and Mia's growing on me. I like both of them.
Oh, I don't know their names. You just mean
Mia's her friend that
the singer
in the bar. Mia's her friend that sings in the bar. And then Portia is the assistant. And I like that story. And I hope they're going to be like, I hope we can root for them and that relationship will do well. I don't want that one to be crappy like all the other crappy ones.
Well, I bet it's going to go crappy.
Do you laugh when you watch this?
Yeah, I laughed at the Vespa scenes. Those are pretty good.
And Valentina, the manager, is hilarious with her put downs.
She's pretty good. Yeah. One thing I think is this time we don't see as much as we don't really have a personal relationship as much with the actual workers, the upstairs, downstairs aspect.
Because that's not
the first season.
That's not what this season is about, and maybe that's why we're getting.
Maybe not, yeah, but it seemed like a big thing in the first season, so I found that kind of surprising. The only one we really know is the manager, and I guess the locals, the 2 local girls.
And then we get almost everyone gives us clues that they might be. The beautiful wife says some women cut off their husband's balls. Somebody says, in the television show, women are more dangerous than shotguns. So we just get that sprinkled throughout every episode, like different hints.
Right. And the
somebody
dad,
might
the
be
grandpa told a long story about some myth, right? Some kind of rape thing about the
Oh,
Hades.
right. I forgot about that one. Good call, Ann. Anything else about the episode you want to bring up?
No, I'm interested. I'm still interested. I'm involved. I'm invested. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it in a couple hours.
Let's finish with next week's plans, so we can make some plans here. So you're going to be here on Friday. You're arriving to Charlotte on Friday. Opening week of basketball season here in North Carolina. Scrimmage on Wednesday for the Watauga Pioneers. We're playing at my old school. I used to teach advance. Now Julius Chambers High School. We're playing. JV starts at 5. What time's your plane get in? You remember?
My plane gets in around 7.
Wouldn't it be funny if I could pick you up in the bus?
In the bus, I think it'd be great. Yeah,
School
maybe to get
bus.
the girls chant
Would
my
other
name or
would
something.
other people try to get on?
No one else would try to get
No
on.
one would say, "Where's the bus going?"
Why would somebody want to get on this bus?
Actually, it'll probably be Megan who will pick you up from the airport after the game. We'll do notes of the week again. I liked it.
Great.
You want to draft City Edition jerseys from the NBA?
Absolutely.
So I've got a link to that in our notes here. Are you up for reading one article of your choice about Elon Musk and telling me how Twitter has changed for you since his takeover, if at all?
Absolutely, sure.
Okay, so we got NBA City Edition, and we got the Twitter thing. And then are we watching episode 3? Every time I think I'm not, but then by the time I get done talking to you, I'm willing to watch it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it for sure.
So we got
I'm going all the way to the end.
So we don't have to watch any basketball. I will watch a lot of basketball, but so we got City Edition draft. You're going to read an article about Twitter. We're going to talk about episode 3. We'll do that both in front of the camera here upstairs near Valley Christmas, North Carolina. All right, Ann, thanks for joining me.
All right. Well, you have a good evening.
See you soon.
You know what? You need to be in the photo.
Bye.
No, I don't.
Do.
I don't need to
Get
be
in the
picture.
photo.
Let's just go.
You're never in a cute little suit like that. You're always in your underwear. Hey. Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, could you take a photo of us?
Yes.
On the best spot?
For sure. You look so pink.
Sure.
Guess who I am? What?
Peppa Pig.
I'm Monica Vitti.
Monica Vitti is dead. But yes.
Wait, when was my mouth shut?
Very sexy. Brava. Brava, Monica.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you sure you don't need a car?
No, this is the Italian dream.
Yes, but the road can be really tricky.
Yeah.
And you know, Sicilian drivers.
Is this the normal size of a Vespa?
Yes, Vespa, normal size, yes.